What's up, everybody? It's Friday night, or Black Friday if you're into shopping and that's your thing. It is my thing, I'm not gonna lie. It's Black Friday, it's a late night agenda, but most importantly, ladies and gentlemen, it is the eve of Liverpool's game against Brighton in the Premier League, and that's what this stream is about. This is our Brighton preview stream. You're all very welcome along. My name is Craig, if I haven't said that already. There is a lot to get through, ladies and gents. I mean, you take 24 hours off and you think to yourself, it'll be grand. Sure, there isn't too much to get through. There really is. We'll go through team selections. We'll go through score predictions. We've got a lot to talk about. How the hell are we? I hope life is treating you all well. I hope you're all ready for, a busy festive period coming up. Games are going to come thick and fast, for Jurgen Klopp's Reds. And hopefully I can string a sentence together at some point during this stream. Now, I wouldn't put money on it, but you never know. Stranger things have happened. Right, so let's start off with the Fabinho news before anything else. We know he picked up an ankle injury. We know that he left Anfield in a protective boot the other night. Well, it looks like he's going to be out for between maybe 6 to 8 weeks, certainly until the new year. The first I seen of it earlier on was from Paul Joyce, but it looks like it's being confirmed as the day went on. Yeah, look, it's ankle ligament injury. It's not what we wanted to hear. If there is a silver lining to this cloud, and there probably isn't, because look, Fabinho is really important to what we do. But that being said, we do have enough bodies to cover the midfield positions. We've got Shaqiri coming back from injury now. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain starting to find form. We know Jordan Henderson can slip in and play the 6. Milner can play the 6. Gini can play in the 6. But they're not Fabinho, and I understand everybody's frustration, and I understand everybody's worries. But what I will say is, we'll see the benefit of this later on in the season, perhaps. Fabinho, yes, he's injured, but he'll also be getting a rest. I'm trying to look for positives here. It's a big loss, but we've had big losses before. Alisson was out for a prolonged period of time. Mohamed Salah has had injuries. We'll get through this. We'll get through this busy fixture period, and fingers crossed we'll still be at the top of the league come the end of it. I'm full of confidence. You know what? I believe in this group. I really do. How could you not? Nathan Carter said RIP London terrorist victims. Yes, of course, can't do the stream tonight without taking a second to speak about what happened in London today. And again, it's just a sad indictment of society where the stuff like this keeps happening. First and foremost, the people that stood up, the people that were counted today, the people that went and disarmed this person, heroes, each and every one of them. The police force in the UK as well, well done to them. But look, thoughts, prayers and best wishes, of course, to everybody in London, and I hope nobody had anybody harmed or heard or knew of anybody that was harmed in it, but unfortunately people were. But I love, support and best wishes go, of course, to everybody in London at this time. Right, how long do you think Fabinho is out for? Around 6 to 8 weeks, I'd guess, Daniel. It's very hard to tell because, of course, you got to let recovery happen. You got to let things take their time. You don't want to rush him back either. Yeah, look, it's not great news. It was so innocuous as well, and as John Hamilton said during the watch-along at the time, it is often the innocuous ones that lead to some time out. And look, Fabinho's been excellent since he's come in, and he'll be excellent when he comes back. But we need to stick together, ladies and gentlemen, and we need to ride through this little storm. And I've no doubt that, I'm back in Naby. I'm back in Naby to do well as well, by the way, and you can see in my team selection tonight, I have him in there, and I hope that he plays against Brighton tomorrow. Massive game coming up next Wednesday as well against the Bitters. As I said, there is a lot for us to get through. We'll get to the Annie Road end, in a little while as well. But I thought I'd start off, because this is our Brighton preview, by going through my starting 11 for the game. Then I'll go into you guys, see how you're feeling about it, see what you think of team selections, and of course, I love your predictions as well. So, what I've done, I haven't really mixed it up too much for this one, ladies and gents. I've gone for Alisson in goal, obviously. Trent Alexander-Arnold come back in at right back. Van Dijk and Dejan Lovren at centre back. Of course, Andy Robertson at left back. Then the question comes around the midfield. I've gone for Jordan Henderson, Naby Keita, and then Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. Then the front three of Mane, Salah and Firmino. Now, I heard other people say, and I absolutely agree with this as well, that we could perhaps see a slight change in system with Fabinho out. Maybe we go to a 4-2-3-1. I guess we'll have to wait and see. But whatever 11 take that field, I have belief. Brighton are a good side under Potter. We should be beating them at home, though. Let's be fair about that. I've gone for a 2-0 because, as I keep saying, we've got to keep a clean sheet sooner or later. And I'm expecting a handy enough afternoon's work for the Reds tomorrow. A game that we will, of course, be covering on the channel from 2:30 tomorrow afternoon. So I hope you can join us for that. When I say covering, you guys know what I mean. We'll be doing a watch-along. Right, let me get into your comments, see how we're all feeling. I read it'll be 10 weeks, said Liam Cotter. I guess, mate, we're just going to have to wait and see. I think we're all kind of guessing a little bit. I always like to look to the minimum side of these things because I'm an optimist, I suppose. January 2020 was the time frame, said the dugout, which is what, depending on how long into January, buddy, 4 to 8 weeks. Craig, my brother from Scotland Police Force went down to help. Thankfully he's home safe. Well, as you said, mate, thankfully he is home safe, and lots of love to your brother and to your family, mate. And as I said, our thoughts of course are with everybody in London at this time. The best Liverpool team that I've ever seen, said Evan Boland. Do you know what, mate? In my lifetime, it could well be. It could well be, mate. They're a great group, that is definite. And there's a lot more to come. I mean, sometimes I wonder if we're a little bit spoiled at times with what we're seeing, and we take things a little bit for granted. Like the other day, we drew at Napoli at home in a very difficult game, and there was some disappointment, but there wasn't half some overreactions as well. Days like that are going to happen. Evenings like that are going to happen. It's still in our own hands in the Champions League group stages. We have to go to Salzburg and get a point, but we should be looking to go over there and pick up 3 points, because it is Salzburg. They're a good side, but it's not prime Barcelona, as people keep mentioning. We can do it. I have every faith in these guys. We don't do things the easy way at Liverpool. It's always been the way. Evan's gone for Liverpool 3, Brighton 0. Joseph said, I don't think you could have Keita and Oxlade-Chamberlain in the same time. Why? Can have whatever you want, my friend. That's the beauty of opinions. I'd rather have those in there than, let's say, Jimmy Milner. It always makes me nervous when Milner and Hendo are in the same midfield. Gini Wijnaldum, look, it's really difficult to leave Gini out, and the only reason that I haven't got Gini in there is with the derby in mind on Wednesday. I think Gini will come in for that game. Yes, Brian, Naby is 100% over what kept him out against Napoli. The manager said in his press conference today that Naby is available for selection anyway. Also, yeah, a couple of people mentioned Unai Emery. He was, of course, sacked by Arsenal, and people are already guessing as to who might come in and take that job. Names in the frame for that seem to be Allegri. Brendan Rodgers has already distanced himself, in fact rubbished the rumours linking him to the Arsenal job, and rightly so, because he's in a good gig at Leicester as things stand. Who else has been linked? Pochettino has, of course, been linked, because he's out of work at the minute. Eddie Howe, another name linked to the Arsenal job. Whoever goes in there, I don't think things are going to change from a playing perspective until the board actually start backing managers, or until the board actually start making decent decisions with regards to acquisitions at Arsenal. Let me just pull up a statistic, or not a statistic, a list of the players that Arsenal have signed recently. Hang on one second. I sent this to Connor earlier on, so let me just grab up this list. So many messages. Right, here we go. Here's a list of the players signed under Unai Emery's time at Arsenal. Now, I'm not saying Unai Emery made the decision to sign all these players, because Arsenal have a board there that make a lot of these decisions. So, they brought in Bernard Leno, they brought in Lichtsteiner, they brought in Socrates, or Socrates, whichever way you want to pronounce that gentleman's name. They brought in Torreira, Guendouzi, Denis Suarez, Danny Ceballos, William Saliba, Nicolas Pepe, David Luiz, and Kieran Tierney. How many of those players are absolute standout players? How many of those players have come into Arsenal, hit the ground running, and made massive strides? Now, Tierney, it's too early to say anything really. He's only starting to settle in. But the rest of them, looking through that team, Guendouzi looks like a decent player, but has he lifted them up to the next level? No. Torreira, he's already kind of looking for the exit door, if you're seeing some of the stories that are going around. So, for me, whoever Arsenal bring in, they need to back him, and I'd be amazed if Allegri comes in mid-season. From what I've read about Allegri, he has an interest in the job, but it's the kind of job that he'd like to take in the summer, because he'd like to get a pre-season under the belt with the players. And a lot of managers find it very difficult to come in mid-season like that and get things kicking off and get things working on the level that they'd like to, and I guess we'll have to wait and see. Right, 4-0 to the Reds, said H1-1 diversions. Brighton's defence is a shambles. Scotty said Craig Milner could play in the 6 with Henderson move forward. He could, absolutely. That's one of the beauties of a lot of our midfielders, Scotty, mate. They're very versatile. But as I said a few minutes ago, it always makes me a little bit nervous when I see Milner and Henderson in the same team, particularly at home when we're looking to go out and get a win. Look, Jimmy, it's very difficult to say that, because I don't want to be disrespectful to Milner, because I really do like James Milner. He is, as I said, one of the most versatile footballers in the league. Graham said Celtic did nothing in Europe under Rodgers' leadership. If Arsenal are just happy with the league standings, then it would be good for them. It has been his Achilles heel at this moment in time in his career, Graham. I have to agree with you, mate. We've seen it with Liverpool as well, and it remains to be seen what will happen if Leicester, or when Leicester, qualify for Europe. Allegri's English isn't good as well, said the dugout, but that can be improved, mate, as time goes on. He's a quality manager, Max Allegri, absolute quality. You can't argue with his record at Juventus, and yes, Juventus should be winning Serie A every season, but he is still a quality manager. Doug's gone 3-0 to the Reds, and his team is Alisson, Trent, Lovren, Van Dijk, Robertson, Keita, Henderson, Oxlade-Chamberlain, Mane, Origi and Shaqiri. Resting Salah perhaps for the game against Everton on Wednesday. And again, mate, bar Shaqiri. Again, for Shaqiri, I'd be amazed if he starts a game. And this is the reasoning why, because as we know, he's coming back from quite a while out, and usually when that happens, you start to get introduced towards the end of games rather than start them. That's the only reason I'm saying what I'm saying. What have we got? Hey Craig, will you go over to Anfield for GAA if the proposal goes ahead? So Ella messaged me earlier on, and hello Ella, I hope you're okay. Hope life's treating you well. To say that Liverpool are apparently proposing that some GAA games are played at Anfield if that proposal goes ahead. I don't know, but it would be interesting to see GAA. We've seen Rugby League played at Anfield, so why not? Hendo, Genie and Lallana maybe, said Shanzo. Possibly. Yeah, possibly Lallana is a good option to come in, especially for a game like this where we're probably going to have a lot of the ball and want to move it quickly. Yeah, Lallana could be a good option. Brian said, hard to judge players when a club's in free fall like that. Some very good ones, but they've all binned. Pochettino to Arsenal, said Cape Town Muslim. Imagine Spurs sack Pochettino and he goes straight into Arsenal, and will do well. It will do well if he went in there. I've no doubt. I really do rate Pochettino as a manager. 5-0 win is what we need, said Martin. I hope so, buddy. I would absolutely love that. To all our Irish viewers watching tonight, we know what night it is, don't we? Friday night, 9:30, last Friday in November. It is, of course, the Late Late Toy Show. Every child in Ireland is probably being allowed to stay up and watch this. My family are upstairs watching it now as we speak. For those who don't know what the Late Late Toy Show is, basically the Late Late Show is Ireland's premier talk show or chat show. And they have a Late Late Toy Show once a year where loads of kids come on, play with toys, review toys, loads of giveaways and stuff like that. It's a staple. Every Irish person growing up will have sat in with their family and watched the Late Late Toy Show. So if you are watching it, and this is what, maybe you're watching this on playback later on, I hope you enjoy it. And if you're a child watching this, I hope Santi brings you everything that you asked for, because I'm sure you deserved it. Right, what else have we got? Craig, what do you call Soccer 6? I put 4-0 to Liverpool. Oh yes, I don't do that. Super 6. Is that the thing you're talking about, Anthony? 4-0 to Liverpool. I read a statistic actually. I think something like 76% of people that did Super 6 for this game put Liverpool to have a clean sheet. I think it's something along those lines. I just read it before I came onto the stream actually. Tom Jones said, if we play Chamberlain and Keita together, Robertson and Trent won't need to push so high up the pitch, making our defensive line a little bit better due to greater creativity. One thing, Tom, that we definitely noticed, mate, against Napoli was that Napoli were happy to be narrow and allow us to get into wide areas. And you're right, a little bit of creativity from elsewhere wouldn't do any harm at all, mate. Evan said, hurling at Anfield next year. Yeah, I mean, fastest ball game in the world, mate. Fastest ball sport in the world, or field ball sport in the world. Harry Williams going, Liverpool 3-1 winners. Alisson, Trent, Lovren, VVD, Robbo, Lallana. In the 6, and Naby Keita, Milner, Origi, Mane and Bobby, and then Oxlade-Chamberlain, Salah to come on in 70 minutes. Will Liverpool win the Fat Cup or the League Cup? The Fat Cup? The FA Cup, I think you meant to say, mate, or the League Cup. The League Cup, probably not. I mean, we're going to have a weakened side out in the League Cup, as we know, because Liverpool will be over playing the World Club Cup, and the majority of our senior players will probably be over there. We face Aston Villa then in the quarterfinal of the League Cup, so probably not the League Cup. The FA Cup, hey, I guess we have to wait and see how the draw goes. Whenever we have cup ties, I always pray for a home draw, because I know people have the Auto Cup scheme, and some people, these are the only games they get to go to are the FA Cup games, the League Cup games and stuff. So if you're in the Auto Cup scheme, I'm always hoping for you that we get a home draw in the Cups. We need to beware of Trossard left wing for Brighton, said Callum. We need to just go and do our thing. I mean, I'm not even going to claim to watch much of that guy at all, but I mean, from our point of view at home in the Premier League, with the record that we have, we can't be taking anything for granted, that's for sure. And as I said, Brighton have improved massively under Potter, but we should be looking to get 3 points tomorrow. Eclipse Fusion said, I really want to see some goals tomorrow. I cannot be on the edge all the time. It would be nice, mate, wouldn't it? It would be nice to go and give somebody a spanking. I feel like we're overdue to give somebody a bit of a hiding, and I've kind of had a little bit of, not disdain for Brighton. That's not the thing. I just thought that they were a little bit harsh in the treatment of the last manager, and I just thought that Houghton should have been given a little bit more leeway than he got. So I always felt a bit salty about that sacking. But look, as I said, Potter has come in and done a good job. Buzzard TBM said, up the Irish, up the pool, up the GAA. Why not, mate? Up everybody. That sounds a bit weird, actually, doesn't it? Up everybody. Next, I will be breaking out the El Christmas jumper, by the way, for the Merseyside derby next Wednesday. I've been saving it. It is upstairs, ready to go. Divock Origi, 1-0, 96th minute, courtesy of the Red Men TV website as well. I said to you guys before, if you haven't seen it, go over, check it out. There's some great stuff on there. I don't know if you'd probably still be able to get them in time for Christmas. The Villa game is going to be farcical, said Brian Morrissey. The whole situation is a little bit farcical, Brian, mate, isn't it? But look, it is what it is. Who's going down this season? Honestly, mate, I don't know. Just as it's probably too early for us to count our chickens with regards to us where we are in the league, I think it's probably too early to count our chickens or count the chickens for who might go down. Loads to get through tonight as well. I've only touched on my notes here. We have to get to the Annie Road expansion as well, which I'll get to in a couple of minutes. Klopp needs to play Keita more. He's such an animal, said Buzzard TBM. I've got every faith in NABY KEITA, and I posted up on Twitter earlier on to say just that. I know some people have already written him off. I haven't. I think he's been a little bit unlucky. It takes time to settle, and I fully believe in him. If he can keep the injuries away, I think NABY KEITA will prove to be an astute piece of business, and I still think he's going to tear up the Premier League. As I said, though, I am an eternal optimist. We also have a giveaway, by the way, over on our Twitter account in association with our friends at Tree Retro. We're giving away your choice of any pre-retro shirt from their website. So you don't even have to be a Liverpool fan. Visit the Tree Retro website and pick whatever shirt you want from there. And to be with a chance to win that, you've got to go over to our Twitter account at Anfield Agenda. Make sure you're following us. Make sure you're following at Tree Retro and just retweet the competition post. We're going to announce the winner for that after the Everton game next Wednesday. And thank you as always to Tree Retro and Score Draw for their constant support of us for quite a while now, to be fair. It's a pleasure working with the guys. Do you think we'll lose this season in the Premier League? A game? Yes, I think we probably will lose one, mate. I'd love us to go unbeaten. Of course I would, but I don't really care about whether we lose a game or not, as long as at the end of it we're number one, we're top of the pile. However we get there, to me it won't matter. It's about getting that monkey off our back, mate. 30 years, I keep saying it, 30 years is far too long for a club the size of Liverpool to not win the top tier of English football. So fingers crossed this is the season. But there's a long way to go, yeah. 25 games to go. 24 after tomorrow's game against Brighton, and hopefully that's another 3 points. I've got faith in Keita. He done well last year, said Scotty. I think Man United, Spurs and Southampton will go down this season, said Live Gamer. You do make me smile, mate. Well in. Will you get the Club World Cup shirt if we win it? 100%, mate. Absolutely. I want that gold badge on our shirt so bad. The Late Late Toy Show is on, Craig, said Dave Sweeney. Sinead is watching it. I hope she's got a pen and paper ready, Dave, and I hope she's getting her list ready for Santa. And it better not include Pepsi Max. I know she won't, though, because she looks after her daddy and tries to steer him in the right direction, doesn't she? Best wishes to Sinead, and I hope she enjoys the Late Late Toy Show, Dave. Hadaway, excuse me. How are you, sir? Welcome in. Craig, where am I from? Dublin originally. Now I live in Wexford, mate. Which is, I'm not sure if you're aware, or if you're Irish, or if you're aware, it's the southeast of Ireland anyway. 37 wins and 1 loss at the end, said Callum. That's not possible, mate, because we've drawn a game, so we'll have to go 36, 1-1. Chris Byram said, are you possibly worried about dropping points to Everton when they know they'll sack Silva after the weekend? No, mate, because we beat Everton. It's what we do. Whether it takes a 96-minute Divock Origi goal, or whether it takes a Sadio Mane goal towards the end of the game, or whatever it is, we'll get the job done. And yeah, it'll be a bitter Christmas once again for the Evertonians. H11 Diversions, talk to you later, buddy, and cheers for dropping in. The whole manager bounce thing, I get where you're coming from, but they'll have to have the new manager in place before next Wednesday, so they will have to have sacked him by the time they probably lose to Leicester, and they'll have to have a new manager in place by Wednesday. So I don't think it'll happen that quickly. The sacking may well happen. I just don't think they'll have somebody installed and have time for them to be G'd up at that point. Why do I think we'll only win 2-0? I'm a bit concerned about the team that we're going to put out. So that's the team I've guessed. I don't think will actually be that strong. I think Klopp might look to rotate a few more for this one. I think 2-0 is a respectable enough score. I mean, I'd happily take 3, 4 or 5, Benjamin, mate, but I'm just trying to be a bit realistic because I've gone a little bit over the top in some of my predictions lately. Craig, have you seen the rumours of Puma trying to get Mane a boot deal? Yes, I actually have it on my lists. Who was it that... I think it was the Mirror? Let me just check. So the Mirror reporting that Sadio Mane could be about to sign, as you've suggested, an 8-figure boot deal with Puma. He is going to, or his deal with New Balance is running out, or he is going to leave New Balance. So a lot of people thought that maybe with Nike coming in that it was going to be a deal with Nike, but it looks like, as Eclipse Fusion has said, that Sadio Mane is about to sign an 8-figure, so 10 million plus boot deal with Puma. Delighted for him, honestly, absolutely delighted for him. If you look into Sadio's background and what he had to do to become a professional footballer and the sacrifices that he had to make, you will want it to pay off for him. And yeah, get what you can, get your hustle on. It's a short career that these guys have, so if Puma want to give him 10 plus million to wear their boots, then I'm absolutely delighted for Sadio Mane. Hadaway said we'll beat Salzburg, not even draw. I love it, mate. I love the confidence, and we should be looking to go over there and beat them, because let's not forget, we are the reigning European champions, and sometimes some of our fans, I think, need to be reminded of that one, because they're a little bit, not negative, that's not the right word, nervous perhaps. Was born in Dublin but now living in Offaly, said Evan. Nice one. I think I've moved around a bit as well, mate. I've lived in Laois, I've lived in Wexford, I've lived in Wicklow, lived in Dublin, but I think we're settled where we are right now, thankfully. Salah must be dropped, said Hadaway. Why? Because of his perceived form being bad? Well, I've actually got an interesting statistic for you on that one, and again, I'm not taking credit for this. This came from the Echo earlier on. So, in 18 appearances this season, Mohamed Salah has scored 9 goals and contributed 5 assists. Yet we all think that he's having a pretty bad season, and I include myself in this. But if we compare that to this time 12 months ago, when 18 games into the season, he had 9 goals and 4 assists. So he's actually 1 assist and the same amount of goals. 1 assist better off and the same amount of goals. So he actually hasn't been in bad form, which is interesting, because it's mad how sometimes perceptions can make us wrong. And sometimes our perceptions of players or their circumstances are dictated by, I suppose, certain posts on social media or a skewed way of thinking. And as I said, I absolutely include myself in this one. And yeah, he's actually performing better after 18 games than he did last season. So you can't argue with statistics. Well, not this one in particular. You can argue with a lot of them, but not this one really. We might be the Europa League champions next year. No, mate, be positive. We're not going into the fucking Europa League. Stay positive, Callum, mate. And if we do go into the Europa League and you want to put a positive spin on it, then maybe we give Ryan Brewster, Curtis Jones, Harvey Elliott, Keanu Hoover, Sepp van den Berg, Queeveen Kelleher. Maybe we give those guys a platform then to go and show what they can do and get some experience in European football. So even if the worst does come to the worst, there's still a positive spin that we can put on it. Graham Sampson said if Morelos from Rangers scores against Young Boys at Ibrox, it'll be 2 goals against the 3 teams in the so-called group of death. Not too bad. Yeah, look, he's been in amazing form for Rangers, hasn't he? He really has. And that title race up in Scotland between Rangers and Celtic this season looks like it's going to be a really tight one. Live Gamer 10 said, do you think Milner will leave at the end of the season? There's talk that they're looking to renew, but until it happens, mate, I don't know. I know Jurgen Klopp loves him. I know the dressing room love him. I know the fans love him. But again, if Leeds come up, there might be that. I know a lot of people think and thought last season that if Leeds had to come up to the Premier League, that maybe James Milner may move on. But look, only time will tell. But whatever happens, having James Milner at this football club has been massively beneficial to us. And of course to him to some degree, because he added the only domestic trophy. Well, I say domestic, the only club trophy he hadn't really won, the Champions League, to his tally of trophies that is growing and growing, and it's been a pleasure having James Milner at the club, and he's still a Liverpool player. Mo is the Egyptian king, said Live Gamer. Damn right he is, mate, and we absolutely love him. Dave Sweetie said, born in Galway, live in Galway, watch an Anfield agenda in Galway. Love it, and love it, my friend. I feel like there's something else I need to say, but I keep forgetting. I don't know what it is. I just feel like I'm forgetting to say something massive. I wear a boot on my head as a half for a tenner if anybody wants to sponsor me, said Tommy Walker. I'll leave you to it, mate. If anybody wants to sponsor you for that, then best of luck to them. Puma makes beautiful kits, especially for African nations teams, said Cask Strength. I'm not a massive fan of Puma kits myself, but again, everybody looks at things differently, and I wouldn't have... Well, I say I'm not a massive fan of them. I wouldn't have been happy if they were making Liverpool kits, but they aren't, so fingers crossed Nike come up with something special. I definitely feel like I'm missing something. I really do. Missing something really obvious that I wanted to talk about, but look, I just can't remember it. So look, again, ladies and gentlemen, please do keep your thoughts coming on the game tomorrow. Let me know your starting 11 predictions. Let me know your score predictions. Scotty said, when is Joe Matip due back? I believe he's having another scan. It was either today or tomorrow to see how his recovery is getting on, but Jurgen Klopp wasn't going to give a time frame on that during his press conference today because I don't think he knows, quite frankly. Dave Smith said, I guess it's because Salah's been more wasteful in front of goal, but if he's fit, he'll play every game, or he has to play every game. Yeah, I was a little bit disappointed with the opportunity against Napoli that he could have done a little bit better, but it is hard to be critical of Mohamed Salah. But again, we look at these guys and we hold them to the very highest standards, don't we? Hadaway said, Craig, exactly. I said that on Twitter. The kids are playing the Europa League and getting playing matches. Look, yeah, it does improve them, mate. I mean, Harry Kane kind of made his way in the Europa League and burst onto the scene at Spurs. So, I mean, I don't want us to go into the Europa League. Of course I don't. I want us to win the Champions League. I want us to win the Premier League. But if the worst should happen, then this time we'll try and put a positive spin on it. Daryl Brennan's watching from Kildare. How are you, mate? Welcome. Thank you. Ladies and gents, this is what I was trying to say. I knew there was something. We're really, really close to 27,500 subscribers. If you are watching this stream and you are enjoying it, I think we're like 17 away, something like that. So please do hit that subscribe button. Give the stream a thumbs up and make sure you've got notifications turned on. For tomorrow's match, as an example, we don't schedule our watch-alongs. So just know at 2:30 we'll be going live. If you've got notifications turned on, fingers crossed, because it doesn't always work with YouTube, that you'll get that notification if you click on that bell and make sure you've got them turned on. But mostly, hit the subscribe button and help us get to 27.5k. Our goal is to try and get 30,000 subscribers by the end of December, so by the end of the year, and we've a full month to do it. It's technically possible. We've had bigger months before, but we need your help, so please do hit that subscribe button. Gunjeet said, I really wish we had gone for Adidas rather than Nike. As do I, mate. I mean, look what I'm wearing right now. I love Adidas, so I'm with you. But look, we are where we are. Nothing has been announced yet, but it is looking like Liverpool and Nike will be in partnership from next season. I hope Martin Atkinson behaves tomorrow, mate. Even the thoughts of it makes me shiver. The thoughts of Atkinson being in charge, like it's not great. Buzzer TBM, my Irish is shocking, mate. Shocking. So I'm not even going to attempt to try and answer you. Live Gamer said, my prediction is 5-1 to Liverpool. I just want us to go out there and improve our performance from our performance against Napoli. Scouser watching from Oxford to James Brown. How are you, mate? I hope life's treating you well. Pleasure to have you with us. And I hope life in Oxford is going well for you. What else we got? Joanne, how are you as well? Welcome in. Ella said, can't see us losing to Salzburg. Look, they played really well and they're full of confidence. They came over to Anfield. We were battering them. They came back into the game. We seen it out 4-3. For us to go through, we either need to draw the game, win the game, or lose by 5-4, 6-5, something along those lines. It has to be at least that score because of the reverse rubber and the way they scored 3 goals at Anfield. I think they have a better goal difference than us in the group as well. I've been watching since 3K, said Miros. Thank you so much, mate. I mean, I'm trying to figure out when 3K was, but I'm awful about stuff like this. But mate, thank you. I really appreciate everybody's support, and I know Connor does as well. I'm at a hotel in Liverpool, so excited to watch the game for my birthday, said man like Allison. Firstly, happy birthday, mate. I hope you have a wonderful, or have had, I don't know when your birthday is, but if it's coming up, I hope you have a wonderful birthday, and I've no doubt that you're going to have a great time at Anfield tomorrow. Yeah, every time you get to Anfield is a good occasion, so enjoy yourself, stay safe, and cheer the guys on. And I don't want you to be leaving that game without losing your voice tomorrow, mate, so scream your lungs out and let the guys know you've got their back. But enjoy it, and as I said, happy birthday to you. Maybe the Premier League warned Martin Atkinson. I doubt it. I very much doubt it, mate. Yeah, I doubt it. I don't mean that to be, sorry, anyway, negative towards you, Callum. I just don't hold much faith in the FA or the Premier League about stuff like that. Shaqiri is great. He's always a great influence in Liverpool. So Colin, I'm not his biggest fan, Colin. I'm not going to be a hypocrite and lie. I think he's a decent impact player for the team, and I think that every player in that squad will have a part to play this season. But I wouldn't be his biggest fan. I've got to be honest. I've always said I'll give you guys my honest view on here, and as much as I think he's all right at the price that we paid for him, I think it was a no-brainer. But I don't really rate him as somebody who's going to have a big impact on our season. That's just my opinion, though. Brian, I don't know what the interesting question was, so let me just try and scroll back up. Sorry, Jojo, I'm trying to find your question now. Could be a bit back up, though. Oh, there we go. Hi, Craig. Why am I such a Shaqiri hater? Oh, it's funny. I was literally just talking about that. But support Naby to no end. Naby has been a below average signing, in my opinion. Always injured. No effort with learning the language, etc. I wouldn't say I'm a Shaqiri hater. I mean, I don't come on here and say he's shite, mate. So I think you're being a little bit harsh on me about calling me a Shaqiri hater. I'm just not his biggest fan. As I said, I think he's a decent impact player. But why am I a Shaqiri hater? I'm trying to give you an honest, unbiased view on it. The reason that I want to give Naby a bit more slack is that he's come to a new league, he's come to a new country, he's learning a new language, and you say he's made no effort to learn the language. Well, I know for a fact, mate, that he has made a massive effort to learn the language, and the club are involved in these type of things. So, for instance, when Fernando Torres was here, he had somebody with him helping him to learn the language, and they were making him ring takeaways and making him make phone calls and stuff like that. So I've no doubt he's absolutely trying to learn the language. He has been below par. I cannot argue with you on that one, but I believe in them. And is it wrong that I believe in a player? Is it wrong that I want him to succeed? I mean, what do you want me to do? Come on here and shit on the guy and say he's shy? That's not the way I go about things, mate. I tried to give my honest opinion. I still believe Naby Keita will come good. I just don't rate Shaqiri as a footballer all that highly. I mean, what has he done for a prolonged period anywhere in his career? In his what is he, 26, 27 now? And I can't think of a single time during his career, wherever he's been, that he's put together a real run of games and been impactful. He's had flashes, he's had little moments, whereas I genuinely believe Naby Keita can come in and make that number 8 shirt his own and have a big impact. But that's just my opinion. What else we got? Would I love Kevin De Bruyne at Liverpool? In a heartbeat, Leo, of course. He's a wonderful footballer. Who's the referee tomorrow? It's Atkinson, I believe. I know, is it Atkinson or is it Mike Dean? I think it's either Atkinson tomorrow and Mike Dean's the referee for the Merseyside Derby and Atkinson's the VAR, I think. The match at Anfield, no need to worry. Shaqiri and Naby Oxlade-Chamberlain should play tomorrow, said Hadaway. I've been at the hospital for a week, really missed you. Sorry to hear that, Casper, mate. I hope you're on the mend. And I know I speak on behalf of everybody in the chat when we wish you well and send you love, mate. I'm genuinely sorry to hear that you've been in hospital. Great to have you back, though, and I hope you're on the mend. Jay said it'd be grand if we had Grujic up to speed at the club for a time like this. It would definitely be a benefit, mate. We do have players who can play the 6, though, as we said. Lallana has been talked about playing there in a slightly different way. Henderson's played there for a long time. Milner can play there. Gini can play there. So we are blessed in that we have plenty of cover, but you are right. It would be nice to have Grujic up to speed and ready to play there. And I fully expect Grujic to come back next season and challenge Fabinho for that spot. Hadaway said, no Liverpool fans hate any players. Exactly. We shouldn't hate them anyway. We can not be their biggest fans, of course, because we all have different opinions on footballers, but I'll never come on here and destroy a Liverpool player and belittle them. That's not my way at all. I'll do it with referees in a heartbeat. He scored against Man United twice last season. Okay, and we drew one of those games, mate, and won the other one. So, scoring 2 goals in a season, that's it. He's a superstar. I mean, scoring against United, I don't get you. But you're reckoning that Divock Origi has to be on the team sheet every single week, mate, because he scored against Barcelona, scored in the Champions League final, scored against Everton. I think he scored a late winner against Newcastle as well. So by that reasoning, Divock Origi is the greatest footballer to ever live. And he might well be, you know. I love Divock. Quality is quality, Craig. Naby's a boss player, said James Brown. Not wanting to scare our score because I don't feel confident playing them, but I think it'll be 4-0 to us. I think that Newcastle will get a 2-2 draw, Graham, with Manchester City. Well, they beat Manchester City last season, so anything is possible. Pep Guardiola has said that Manchester City can't afford to lose a single game between now and the end of the season in the Premier League if they want to have any hope of retaining their title, which is, very good compliment to us, I suppose. On actually Pep Guardiola, while I have you guys here and while we're talking about it, Jurgen Klopp and Pep Guardiola have both been inducted into the League Managers Association Hall of Fame at an awards dinner during the week, and both of them made lovely speeches, to be fair. Sir Alex Ferguson was there, presented them with their awards. I can't remember who the other person... Oh, Gareth Southgate was there as well, yes, and spoke glowingly about both managers, and rightly so. Whatever we think about the two clubs, whatever your thoughts are about Manchester City, whatever, Pep Guardiola is an absolute quality manager, and it was great to see them both inducted into the League Managers Association Hall of Fame. So congratulations to both managers on a tremendous achievement, and I know it meant a lot to both of them as well. We should get better players than Hendo in central midfield. Hendo's a very good player, mate. Do you think that Jurgen Klopp, Gareth Southgate, Brendan Rodgers, every manager that he's worked under has spoke glowingly about Jordan Henderson? I don't get the Henderson hate. It's, again, we spoke about opinions earlier on, and you're absolutely entitled to yours, but Jordan Henderson is a very good footballer. Shaqiri's a funny character, said Hadaway. Colin said, "Oh, Divock Origi." I fucking love me a bit of Divock, I have to say. Can't wait to wear that jumper as well next Wednesday to wind the bidders up during the Watchalong. The things they called me. I posted up a picture of me in the jumper on Twitter, and whoo, the abuse I got was hysterical. It's Leicester we need to watch, said Steve Min. I don't know, mate. I think Leicester are doing great, and I have a soft spot for Leicester for a couple of reasons. One, I like the club, I like the way they go about things. Obviously we've Anthony and other people that we're friendly with regards to Leicester City as well, and I want them to do well, but I think it'll be Manchester City and us battling for the title. I think they'll get top 4, Leicester, and from this season onwards, yeah, they're going to keep progressing if they can keep that squad together. But I mean, I just think, I don't think they can sustain the run that they're on. I think they could be an injury for Jamie Vardy or James Maddison away from a little stumble, but I fully expect them to be in the European places at the end of the season, alright. Is Keita ready to start, said Harry. He's okay from a selection point of view, Harry, mate, but after that, I can't say. I mean, he is fit and available to start, I mean. Hendo's our captain, said Dave Smith. Damn right, pal. Damn right. And he's a European Cup winning captain, and people need to put some respect on Jordan Henderson's name. Casper said BBC are showing the Club World Cup as well. Yes, they are, which is great news. So you'll be able to follow the Reds in action, hopefully, all the way through to lifting the trophy. But it is great that the BBC are covering it, so free to air for everybody to watch. When should we get these better players and dump Henderson? Tomorrow? Asked Brian. I don't get it. I just don't get the Henderson hate. It just doesn't compute with me at all. Am I going to sit here and say Jordan Henderson's the greatest midfielder to ever play for Liverpool? No, but he's a damn fine footballer. Do you think we can go unbeaten in the Premier League this season? I don't, Gary. I genuinely don't, mate. I think we can win it. I think we can set a really high points tally, but I'm not looking for us to go unbeaten. I just want us to win it. Anything after that is a bonus to me, mate. But we are looking at a very good group of players who are unbeaten at home now in 2 years, something like that, in the Premier League. We lost one game last year in the entire season, so it is possible, but I don't think it'll happen, and I don't think we should be thinking about it yet. For me, it would have to be inside the last 10 games before I'm even thinking about that type of an unbeatable or invincible season, I should say. Thoughts with the Hillsborough family, said Evan Boland. Yes, I want to echo that sentiment as well. It's not something I want to talk about on the stream because it's a very sensitive subject, and it's been covered by people far more intelligent than I, far more articulate than I, and I will leave it at that. But yes, yesterday wasn't a great day, of course, for the Hillsborough families, and one of the reasons we didn't stream last night was, of course, because of the day that was in it. Pearl Hendo seems to be everybody's scapegoat and we've a blip in our season, said Tom Boland. Yep. And Shaqiri seems to be the one that everybody thinks is going to come in and turn everything around as well. Yeah, I do find our fan base funny at times, but I also like the way we all see different things and different attributes in different players. Pepe is worried. Newcastle's speech today in conference proved my comments at Hadaway. Atkinson ref and VAR is Craig Pawson. That's from the Premier League side. And then I think that Mike Dean is the referee for the derby, John, if my memory's correct. And maybe Martin Atkinson's the VAR for that one. But thank you for that, John. Really appreciate it. My dad thinks Henderson is rubbish, said Evan Boland. Your father's fully entitled to his opinion, mate. I don't know your dad, and I'm not going to belittle your father here. He's a Liverpool fan and he's fully entitled to his opinion. Harry said at home, I'm always confident. Yeah, you got to be, don't you? You have to be. I mean, we spoke of, our record is immaculate in the Premier League at home under Jurgen Klopp in recent years. It's an absolute fortress. On that, speaking of fortresses and Anfield and Jurgen Klopp, let me just have a little chat around the news today that broke, and it's the biggest news of the day. It looks like, well, it's the biggest footballing news of the day from a Liverpool perspective. It looks like Liverpool are going to be looking to add an additional 7,000 seats to the Anfield Road ends. So Liverpool have unveiled potential plans today that will bring the capacity of the ground up to 61,000, and it will mean that the Annie Road end would have 16,000 seats, which is actually bigger than the Kop. The estimated cost of the project is believed to be around £60 million, and it would give Anfield the third highest capacity in the league behind Old Trafford and Spurs' magnificent new stadium. Now, there's a long way to go on this. There's a consultation process. The club are going to have to talk with residents. Then they'll have to apply for planning permission. So we're a long way from this happening, but it is good news. And the original plan was to add about 4,000 seats to the Anfield Road end. They scrapped that. That planning permission elapsed in September, and the club, we always believed, were going to come back and look to make it even bigger. So 7,000 extra seats in the Annie Road end, bringing that stand to 16,000 and our capacity to 61,000 would definitely be a step in the right direction. And I believe as well that those seats, or the majority of those seats, are going to be regular matchday seats as well, not corporates or anything like that. So that's really good news. And I'm sure you're all absolutely delighted with that as well if it goes through. If you haven't seen the pictures, just have a look on social media or go onto the Echo's website. There are some CGI images on there, and it looks really good. It really does. The Anfield Road stand said, Hadaway, it does look a little bit like a mini main stand. Do you think Everton will be a tough game? Well, it's a derby, Mason, and form sometimes goes out the window to an extent. They'll be up for it. It won't be easy. I mean, I'm not expecting to go batter Everton 4 or 5-0, but I do think we'll get to 3 points next Wednesday. I'm looking forward to it. It's one of my favourite games of the season. I love doing them. The Watchalong of last season's one gave me probably my favourite league moment of the season, when Origi scored that goal after little T-Rex Pickford fucked up, and yeah, that celebration still makes me smile. Give me Hendo over Danny Ceballos and Matthews. I'll take that as well. What have we got? Brian said Brighton haven't scored at Anfield for 35 years. Granted, they haven't been in the same league for much, but still, sucks to be Brighton. Yeah, that is an interesting statistic. How many of that 7,000 for the supporters? I believe almost all, Graham, mate. Now, obviously, season tickets will probably, some people on the season ticket wait list will get tickets, and that's great. You want that to happen. I mean, the people have been on that list a very long time. But yeah, the 7,000 tickets, I believe most of them, mate, are normal match day tickets and the hospitality seats. So probably all of them. But I think I get where you're coming from. How many of them will go to the likes of travel companies and stuff like that? I don't know. It's the honest answer. But it's been said that the regular match day tickets, how they get distributed after that, I don't know. Sub to 7 YouTubers and you're one of them, said Mason. Really appreciate that, mate. That's a massive compliment. Thank you so much. The derby's always a wild match, said Liz. It is, and it's always fun because we usually come out of it the better, and I enjoy them. Last year's one was great. Well, last year's one at Anfield was great, I should say. Brian said it'll be easy. They're septic. Everton will park the bus at Media Centre, man. Shay said we've conquered all of Europe, and do you know what? We're never going to stop. No, we're not, Shay, you're right. Craig Crosby said, I read that Liverpool don't need to borrow the money, either cash is there. Yes, exactly. Good point that, Craig, and you're right. It was thought originally that Liverpool might need to borrow the money from their owners like we did for the main stand, but as Craig Crosby has said there, it's believed that we have the cash in reserve to be able to go and do it. So again, good news. Shows the club are in a very healthy state financially. And I think as well they're talking about we bring in over 100 million in match day revenue as well, which is a massive amount of money. Looking great in your Christmas shirt. Oh, thank you. I was wondering what you were talking about there for a second, Cask. What is Black Friday? Okay, so it's the day after Thanksgiving, mate, where there's a lot of sales in shops. Massive online sales, massive discounts in your local supermarkets and your local hardware store, your local electrical stores, all that kind of stuff. It started off in America. In the last few years, it started to seep into most of Western culture, I believe, and I did a bit of shopping on Amazon. I'm not going to even lie about it. I do buy into all this stuff because I like shopping. Not going to hide away from it. But yeah, that's what Black Friday is. Will Everton be relegated? No, I don't think so, Evan. I know you can say this of any team, and I'm almost thrown up even about the other these words, but I think they're a little bit too good to get relegated. Oh, I don't have to have a drink. I don't even feel good saying that. I hate giving them any type of a compliment. Colin said, I think Mourinho will do well at Tottenham. Love that guy. He seems a lot more chilled out these days, doesn't he? I mean, maybe if things to start going against them, you might see him get a little bit more bitter. But towards the end at United, he just looked a broken, dishevelled, pale imitation of himself, really. You could be Klopp's replacement. You're a boss, said Kyle. No, I definitely couldn't be, mate. I really appreciate the kind words, but Christ almighty, the club would be in an awful state if I was managing. Naby will shine soon, said Shay. Also love Son, said Colin. So do I. I think Son would be excellent at Liverpool as well. It's 60 million for the new stand. That's a world-class defender price, said Steve. Yeah, but unlike the world-class defender, mate, that stand will be there for the next 30, 40, 50 years. And won't really depreciate in price over the course of that time, and will actually earn us money and not cost us money. And most importantly, Steve, mate, it'll get new people into the stands and get more fans and bums on seats and give more people an opportunity to come and see the Reds, and that's what we all want. Which magazine said Black Friday is a con and things are cheaper before and after? Which magazine? Yes, they did. You're right, Graham. They said that. I thought that was a question at first, and then I remembered, yes, the magazine is called Which. Yeah, they said that something like 60% of stuff in Black Friday sales will be, maybe it's even higher than 60%, will be or has been available at that sale price within 6 months of Black Friday. So, yeah, they're probably, maybe it's just an excuse for us to spend money, Graham, I don't know. Anfield agenda is greater than the United stand. Thank you, Badger. I'll take it, mate. If we have anywhere near the success Mark and the guys over there are having with the channel, then we'll be doing really well. Right, ladies and gents, this is where I need your help again. We are getting really, really close to 27,500 subscribers. If you have not yet subscribed, please do take a second, hit that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, and don't forget to turn notifications on. I can almost smell it, we're getting so close. My point was it's cheap for what it is. Sorry, mate, I picked up on that wrong, Steve. It is. I mean, I was expecting the price to be a bit higher, actually, to be fair. 60 million seems very reasonable for adding 7,000 extra seats and redoing that stand to, if it's anywhere near as good as it looks in the CGI images, it'll be class. Colin said, I've never been to Anfield. I hope someday you get to go, mate, and when you do, I promise you, buddy, you won't be disappointed. And also, with the Annie Road end, they're going to be removing the road from behind it and turning it into a paved area, much like outside the new main stand. So it will look nice around the stadium as well, but you know, there is a lot to get through before we get to the point of that being built. Everton being relegated would be bad for the city, said Chris. Yeah, it would. It would, mate. You're right. I mean, pushing aside the banter and stuff like that, it would be. Having two Premier League clubs is good for the city, without a shadow of a doubt. Alisson became not confident after coming back from injury, said Hadaway. He needs a haircut and a shave. I mean, at least a trim. I think that's fair to say. I don't know if he looks less confident or not. I do think he could have done better with Dries Mertens' goal. I think he took one or two steps too far to his near post. And I think he could have done better. But look, Alisson's amazing and it's great to have him back. But with match time, and rhythm, that confidence will come back without a shadow of a doubt. And he may not have lost any confidence. We could be just picking up on him completely wrong. Alisson did not cover the Napoli goal. Yes, I just said that. I agree. Can anybody explain how the owners can lend the club money to rebuild if they own the club already? The parent club can give a loan, mate. So for stuff like building new main stands, the training facility, stuff like that, they're perfectly entitled to do it. It's usually what they call an interest-free loan, but I think in any loan like that, there is something like 1 or 1.5% interest built into the loan to cover the cost of inflation over the period of the loan. That's my basic understanding of it anyway. But yeah, they're perfectly entitled to do it, mate. And when you're improving facilities like that for the likes of FFP and stuff, it is a cost that you can write off against FFP, or you can balance it off against FFP, I should say, because you're improving the infrastructure of your club. You're adding to its value. I've never been in the top. Used to in the supporters club, was always in the centenary. Yeah, the Annie Road end, for people who haven't been in the upper Anfield Road end in particular, it can be like looking through a post box. The view is shocking in some parts. There's some restricted views as well, but even if you're unrestricted, if you're right near the back of it, it's like you're inside a post box and you're looking out through the little hole in it. Got to get up early on Monday to get tickets for the Watford game, said Steve. Class, mate. Glad you're getting to go. JDB said, Craig, can you see my comments? Yes. Have you put many in? I don't know, you're getting a bit snotty there, mate, with the hello. Can anybody see my comments? I mean, I don't get to read every comment, buddy, and I promise you I'm not intentionally missing out on your comments. How are Man U still a club when they're in so much debt? Because they're worth a fortune, mate. An absolute fortune. And they leverage the club against the value of the club to buy the club, and they're basically just paying off the interest on that debt, I believe. Now, again, basic understanding of football finances, but they're pretty fucking. Are they not the biggest club in the world in regards to? Actually, no. I think Manchester City might have just overtaken them with values or something, because they've had an investment of, is it 500 million from an American investment firm to the whole City Football Group, which I think values them at something like $4.3 billion, something like that. Again, I only read a little bit about this today, but yeah, Manchester City have had a massive cash injection. Krishna said our bench needs to improve their ball retention skills. The entire bench. Shaqiri, Keita, Origi, Oxlade-Chamberlain, Brewster are all guilty. Well, Brewster has barely had any game time, so I can't really see how he's guilty of anything. Keita has been injured for a good chunk of the season, but yes, definitely needs to improve. Oxlade-Chamberlain is class, and his ball retention skills are brilliant. Origi hasn't had much game time this season, and Shaqiri, well, I've made my opinions on Shaqiri pretty clear, but again, it's all about opinions, Krishna. I remember paying £4 to get into the Cop, said Steve. Turn up 10 minutes before. How times have changed. Yeah, I mean, with security measures and stuff, mate, those days are gone, aren't they? Derek, how are you, mate? Welcome in. How do you think we will do against Salzburg? I think we'll get what we need, Sean, to get through, mate, but I hope we get the 3 points and top the group. Top in the group. It's not vital, but it would be nice. How do I say? Craig, ESPN FC said Alisson could wear pyjamas and sleep against Napoli. To be fair, ESPN do come out with a lot of bollocks, mate. Particularly when we've got Burley or Steve Nicol talking out their arse a lot of the time on there. What else we got? Let me just check my notes. I always feel like I'm missing something. Nope. Actually, I've gone through all of my notes. Nice one. Here we go. It's over to you, ladies and gentlemen. We've got about 15 minutes left on tonight's stream, so please keep your thoughts and comments coming. And as I said, we are closing in on 27,500 subs, so with your help we can get there. Also, a reminder, I know I said it earlier on, but people do drop in and out of the stream, so we are running a competition over on our Twitter account. If you're not sure about our Twitter account, it's really easy. It's just at Anfield Agenda. Really straightforward. But the competition that we're running is thanks to our friends at 3 Retro. And if you don't know who 3 Retro are, 3 Retro and Score Draw are sister companies, and they're the ones that make all the beautiful retro Liverpool shirts that you see for sale in the club shop and for sale all over the world pretty much. Yeah, they're an absolute premium manufacturer of retro Liverpool kits and many other kits. They make England kits, Irish kits, Scottish kits, championship kits. I mean, just retro kits from clubs from all around the world. And they've been kind enough to give us any shirt that you want from their website to give away. To be in with a chance to win that, you've got to go over to our Twitter account, follow Anfield Agenda, make sure you're following 3 Retro, and retweet the pinned tweet that's on the account about the competition, and we'll be giving away that shirt after the derby on Wednesday against the Bitters. And as I said, the winner doesn't have to be a Liverpool fan. You can pick absolutely any shirt at all from the 3 Retro site. A massive thank you to 3 Retro for their love and support as always. Colin said Haaland to Liverpool. United fans are very confident he'll go there. I've also seen links to their sister club Leipzig and maybe a move to Germany for him. I don't know, mate, but the guy is banging in goals for fun. He looks a real talent, and he will have a big move somewhere at some point. Just when, I don't know. Have a good weekend, Pixel, mate. You as well. Thank you for dropping in. Really appreciate all your support. Do the Reds go back to a 4-2-3-1 to solidify the back to get Shaqiri into this formation where he thrives? Well, I spoke earlier on exactly about that formation, mate, and there is a bit of chatter that perhaps we could go to a 4-2-3-1 with Fabinho being out, and I'm all for whatever works. And if Jurgen Klopp thinks that he can get the best out of the team, changing back to the 4-2-3-1, hey, I'm all for it, mate, whatever works. Evan Boland said hello to everybody in the Tullamore Liverpool Supporters Club bar in Tullamore and Eugene's bar. Fingers crossed someday we get to go down and say hello to everybody. I mean, I don't need an excuse to head down to Tullamore, so yeah, fingers crossed. And hello to everybody in Eugene's bar if you are watching, and if not, hello to you anyway. Craig, what's the crack? It wasn't a great result for Liverpool against Napoli. I can't believe how many chances we gave them. They were a good side, Willow, but we weren't at our best, particularly in the first half. I mean, we did step it up in the second half. When we scored, they were happy to sit back and take the point, and we couldn't break them down. And they stayed narrow, forced us into the wide areas, and our fullbacks didn't have their greatest performance. So, yeah, it just was one of those frustrating evenings. But Carlo Ancelotti is an excellent manager, and he knows how to set a team up to get a result. And it is what it is. I mean, we go to Salzburg in the last group stage game, and we know what we need to do. James Brown said the first match I went to was in the boys' pen. It was 1 and sixpence, or AP in today's money. You're showing your age, buddy, but yeah, I mean, some of the memories you must have over the years, buddy, of going to the boys' pen and going right through and watching the club. It is, yeah, it's just something about it, isn't there? I keep saying that my week is often revolves around Liverpool's results, and my mood revolves around Liverpool's results. What else we got? Sorry, I'm just trying to go through some comments to make sure I haven't missed anybody's. Well, get through as many as I can, I should say. Just in the door to catch the last 15 minutes, said Willow. I hope yourself and the family are well, Willow, and I hope the young lad's audition went well as well. Why does they say Alisson could wear pyjamas without worry? Oh, that's why they say Alisson could wear pyjamas without worry. I'm still confused by the comment, mate. Just tuned in. What did I miss? Said Ponton Soccer Academy. Right, let me go through really quickly what we've gone through. So, Jurgen Klopp and Pep Guardiola were both inducted into the League Manager Association Hall of Fame at a ceremony during the week. Liverpool have unveiled potential plans to increase the Anfield Road end to 61,000. Well, the capacity, I should say, sorry, to 61,000, and the Annie Road end to 16,000, which would be bigger than the Kop and would give us the third highest capacity in the Premier League, behind Old Trafford and Spurs' magnificent new stadium. The Mirror reporting that Sadio Mane could be about to sign an 8-figure boot deal with Nike, or with Puma, excuse me, slip of the tongue there, with Puma, yeah, so 10 million plus for him. What else have we spoken about? Let me just check back through my notes. Went through the starting 11 for tomorrow, and we talked about the fact that it's reported that Fabinho could be out for up to 8 weeks with ankle ligament damage, so we'll definitely be without him for the December period anyway. I think that's everything, mate. What would be your number one January priority signing if we go into the market? Timo Werner. At that price, mate, I mean, there is talk that perhaps Jadon Sancho could be available in January because things are a little bit unsettled, it looks like, at Dortmund for him at the minute. Whether we have the money or the inclination to go and do that in January, I don't know. But with Timo Werner and that €30 million buyout clause potentially in his contract, I mean, for me, that. Remember Ricky Lambert and Balotelli? Yes, I do, unfortunately. Liverpool, Klopp, under pressure, they play better. History showed us that before. I'm not worried personally, said Hadaway. I agree, mate. We always do things the hard way, but we usually get it done. Dave Smith said his first game was against PSG, second leg, Fowler and Wright scored. We won, but we lost on aggregate. Sammer, YouTube, how are you? Or Samir, I should say, excuse me, mate, how are you? Welcome. Top 3 managers of all time. God almighty, that's a difficult question. Yeah, I can't answer that, mate, without having at least 10 minutes to think about it. But please, if anybody in the chat wants to put theirs in, by all means, go right ahead. I'd love to see some of your comments on that one. Good question, Chris. Media Centre man. Nope, you're answering somebody else. Joanne said, would you like Adam Lallana to come on tomorrow? Yeah, Lallana playing tomorrow would make sense to me, Joanne. If it's in the 6, fair enough. I mean, we will be looking to move the ball. We will probably have a lot of the football tomorrow, so Lallana in the 6 could make some sense there. But again, there are a lot of games coming up. Adam Lallana is good enough to come in and do a job. Shaqiri's good enough to come in and do a job. Neither would be in my all-time or my first pick of a Liverpool 11 if everybody was fit and healthy, but they are professional footballers that can come in and have an impact. So yeah, if Lallana starts, no worries with that whatsoever. Did you say we would be behind Castle Grayskull and Nando's? That's two very, I mean, He-Man and Nando's. I mean, you've covered them both there, Malcolm, but no, I absolutely didn't. But by the power of Grayskull, hopefully we can have a cheeky Nando's. Vernon striker, Fabinho midfield will be unbelievable, to Liverpool 6 times. Chris Madge said, I was stuck driving in Bournemouth today and the locals are saying somebody from the northwest, i.e. not Manchester United, have been inquiring about Aki. Yeah, he's a good player, Aki. He was mentioned when we were looking last summer and there was some talk around centre backs. He was one of the names being mentioned, and yeah, I'd have no issues bringing in him. It would be what type of money though. That's the thing, and how much game time would he realistically get? Although there is a lot of talk that Lovren will move on at the end of the season, so perhaps there could be an opportunity there. But we do also have Seb Vandenberg and Keanu Hoover, and we have players out on loan as well. The young lads over at Stuttgart, his name's after escaping me. I know somebody will put it in the chat and bail me out. Nat Phillips, he's over at Stuttgart on loan as well, so we can't forget about him. Craig, we're Scousers, not English, said James Brown. Never said you were English, never said you were Scousers, never said you were anything, mate. And I don't even know what that's about. What's my formation prediction? With that team I've picked there, it will be a 4-3-3. But it could do a 4-2-3-1 as well, but you'd probably stick Genie in there instead of Keita if you were to go in a 4-2-3-1 formation. We need a strong lineup against Brighton, said Hadaway. I mean, Everton is probably going to be a more difficult game in my head anyway, because it's a derby. I think we just need the 3 points tomorrow, however they come. We just need to keep picking up these wins. I know we haven't been at our absolute brilliant best lately, but you know, we are doing quite well in the league, so yeah, mate, just that to continue. Neco Williams looks great for the right back spot at Liverpool 6 times. He does indeed look like a talent. Kent Coastal Holiday Let's. I got it out that time, Carl. Hoover will clean up one day. 3 points is a must to keep going, said Hadaway. Klopp said in response to getting sacked about how much of a fortress will Anfield be now with 7,000 more. I can get beat in front of 100,000, so I don't know. Again, Kloppo just stating the obvious and being truthful. Imagine Werner, Mbappe and Sancho, said AN140. I think that's what we will have to do, mate, because I can't see the 3 of them coming in. I think Kylian Mbappe will end up at Real Madrid. I mean, the fans seem to want him over there. The president wants him. The manager wants him. They sold out the Bernabeu for the first time this season for the Champions League game against PSG the other night, and a lot of the Real Madrid fans were apparently there to have a look and watch Kylian Mbappe. So the other 2, possibly. Sorry, Craig. Grayskull is Maguire's ground. New Spurs ground has a huge chicken on top of it. Just saying. Oh, okay, mate. Sorry. Manure's ground. Sorry. I'm getting this all wrong, Malcolm. I'm wrecking your comment. Sorry, Craig. Grayskull is Manure's ground, and the New Spurs ground has a huge chicken on top. I don't know where to go with that, mate. Sorry. What have we got? Craig, a random question. What do you do for Christmas week? I don't know what you mean. But what do I do for Christmas week? As in, do I go anywhere? Are you talking about streams, Carl? I don't know what the question is. Who would you swap from our current team for Mbappe? Shaqiri. There. Job done. Bing bang bosh. Hoover's a beast, proper talent, said Chris. If we kept Sterling, our front three would be Salah, Mane, Firmino, said Mason Burke. I love it. I love that type of sense of humour, mate. Well done. It'll be a Kloppage time winner tomorrow. Hope not, said Steve. So do I, mate. I hope we get the job done and we can bring some players off after 60, 70 minutes and give them a rest. That Bob Paisley clip is classic, said the Musk Clue. It is. For those of you that haven't seen it, there's a Standard Chartered video going around of Ian Rush presenting Bob Paisley, MBE with, or is it MBE or OBE? Well, anyway, let's say Bob Paisley with the this season's shirt with the Bob Paisley image that's engraved into it. Hendo's in the video as well. It's really good, and it's tremendous effects, absolutely brilliant. Selling that young lad to Rangers, Ryan Kent. Yeah, he's doing really well up there. I put in an assist as well for one of Morelos' goals the other day against Feyenoord. Would you rather win the league or get United relegated? Win the league. I don't really... Whatever happens at other clubs, I'm not really arsed about, buddy, Colin. I just want us to win the league. Whatever happens at Man United isn't really my concern. Liverpool is, and yeah, like you, and I'm sure every other red mate, I just want us to get that monkey off our back and get that Premier League crown. Our front three will be the same, said Mason. Who should we get in the transfer window? Personally, I don't think we're going to do anything in the January transfer window with regards to incomings. There is talk that Ryan Brewster could go out on loan. There's talk of a few other players perhaps moving on. Lovren isn't going to be going anywhere in January by the looks of it. He's going to be here till the end of the season at least. But yeah, I mean, call me pessimistic. I just don't see us doing much in January. Unless, of course, something... No, I was going to say unless something pops up, but we're not really a reactionary team with regards to signings. We're pretty methodical in the way we go about things. Do you think Brewster will go out on loan? I'm starting to think he might, Liz. Roy Hodgson spoke, and I actually thought he spoke honestly and candidly enough about the potential of him going to Crystal Palace. Leeds had been linked, Swansea had been linked, and Aston Villa had been linked, and a couple more clubs as well. But wherever he does go, if he does go on loan, he needs to get game time, because there's no point sending him out on loan, having him coached by another manager if he's not getting minutes on the pitch, because it's all about him going and getting experience. And yeah, at a high level potentially, if he has to go into the Championship, so be it, but you want him at the top end of the Championship. I just want him to do well, and I want what's best for Ryan Brewster and his development. What have we got? Feel a bit sad for Malden and Tiptree conceding the 92nd minute earlier in the FA Cup against Newport. I didn't see that game, Stewie, mate, so I've no idea what the result was. It seems like we're going big in the summer window, repeat of 2018 to Liverpool 6 times. I think so. I think we will, mate. I think we're going to spend a decent whack of money in the summer. It's why we probably had a quiet summer last year, just trying to get our finances in order and maybe just get the moves lined up as well, because sometimes these transfers can take a long time to get done. A lot of work goes on behind the scenes, and then of course we have the potential of Nike coming in as a new kit manufacturer as well, and the boost that that's going to give us. And they might want to have a nice shiny new player, high profile player wearing that Nike kit, even though I said Nike and Nike there in the same sentence. I'm always doing that. What else we got? We should get Ryan Bertrand in the January window. We were linked with him a few windows back, or maybe it was last window. Will he leave though? Like, why would Ryan Bertrand really leave Southampton, where he's getting guaranteed first team football? He's getting on in age a little bit as well. To come and battle to be second choice or left back at Liverpool, probably not is my answer. And I think he probably want to stay there and make sure that, or try and help Southampton to stay up. Dave Smith said Brewster needs game time. Completely agree. And Liz Golden said agreed with regards to Brewster going on loan, but only if he gets game time. First boxing, I meant Christmas Eve. I'm still confused. Domestic Butler by the comment. What do we do on Christmas Eve? We used to go up to my mother and father-in-law's every Christmas Eve, but now we've started going up there on Christmas Day for Christmas dinner. So probably just stay at home, mate, and have a nice evening with the kids and get Lucas ready for bed and ready for Santa. Hadaway reckons Mane is going to score 2 tomorrow. Will Adrian get much more game time this season? I don't know, Chris, mate, is the honest answer. FA Cup, potentially. The League Cup, I'd say we'll probably leave Caoimhín Kelleher behind for that, at a guess. Unless, of course, he goes, no, he won't be going out on loan before that, so that's coming up next month. Yeah, maybe the FA Cup, but apart from that, and heaven forbid, an injury to Alisson, then probably not too many games. But he knew that coming in, to be fair. Look, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to call it a night, and I will chat to you guys tomorrow. We will be doing a watch-along of the Brighton game starting at 2:30 p.m. here on the channel. We're going to have to be creative again about how we get the game, but we'll do our best to bring it to you and give you some commentary, and we'll dip into the chat and do all the usual stuff that we do. If you're Irish again and you're watching the Late Late Toy Show, I hope you enjoy it, or did enjoy it, I should say, because if you're watching this, it'll probably be in past tense. American Bullies Ireland said, how are you, Craig? Sorry I'm late, I'll rewatch. I'm very well, thank you, mate, and I hope you are as well. The players will do well in 6 weeks. They're built for the system, nothing new to the players. We are Liverpool, said Teo. How are you, Teo? Great to see you in, mate. I hope you are well. Dave Smith, good night to you as well. Look, ladies and gents, don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. We're so close to 27,500 subscribers. Again, when we finish up on here, if you're on Twitter, if you're a Twitter user, go over there, follow Anfield Agenda, and look out for that competition tweet. It's the pin tweet. We're giving away a shirt with in association, I should say, with 3 Retro. You can pick absolutely any shirt from the 3 Retro website. We'll be picking the winner for that competition after the Merseyside Derby on Wednesday, so make sure you go over, follow Anfield Agenda on Twitter, retweet that competition post, and give 3 Retro a follow. Look, ladies and gentlemen, lots of love to you all. I will chat to you tomorrow. Fingers crossed it's another 3 points for the Reds. Enjoy the rest of your Friday. Up the motherfucking Reds.